guys, Michael here, and I just had to take a quick break from watching WrestleMania to give you my first reaction to the Han Solo trailer, which just dropped a few minutes ago. It was definitely better than the first one, I'll give it credit for that. Overall, though, I wouldn't say it was anything too crazy. Definitely was not a big trailer moment the way previous ones have been for like Rogue One or The Last Jedi, where you're just like, yes! At the end. But it was definitely a big improvement over the previous two. And they actually had humor that worked this time. Han's line about Chewbacca being 190 years old and looking great, that actually made me laugh, so that was pretty interesting. I will say, though, in that moment, he didn't really seem like he was channeling Harrison Ford as Han Solo, but I think that actually worked, where he wasn't trying to imitate, you know, a Han Solo copy. He was kind of had the spirit of Han Solo there, but it, you know, making it his own. I feel like in that instance it worked, whereas other parts of the trailer, not so much. I still feel like they're kind of hiding Alden Ehrenreich a little bit. I mean, the movie is called Solo. He's the title of the movie, and he's really doesn't have a whole lot to say. You could argue maybe they're making him the kind of man of few words, because they are going for a Western vibe here, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. But really, Han Solo's not quite like that. He's kind of chatty in a lot of ways. So I do like the sort of color palette they have for this, the sort of browns and almost like candlelit sort of lighting. Definitely has a very Old West feel. It definitely feels like that's the sort of genre they're sort of, you know, aping a little bit, especially with the train robbery. The movie, The Great Train Robbery, is one of the, it's basically in film history is the first sort of narrative film with editing and intercutting and telling a story, and that's really like one of the earliest examples of the Western genre in film history. So that looks kind of cool. I still don't really know what this movie's about. Is it the main thrust of the plot is that they're gonna do this train robbery and that's the climax? I don't know, it just feels like the scale of this is a little bit smaller, like really small. And even the way a lot of the shots are kind of framed, it feels a little claustrophobic. Like, they do a good job of trying to show off a lot of wide shots of the sets and locations. I'm just not getting that sense of grandeur that Star Wars films typically have. And I know this is a different type of Star Wars movie. That's the whole point of the spin-offs, is to sort of do something a little bit outside the norm of the traditional saga. And in fact, I was actually hoping that they would actually take that a little bit further than they have. Rogue One could have been a little bit more of a gritty war movie, and Han Solo, I think, could have been a little bit more of like a straight-out comedy film. I think that's what Lord Miller was going for. But it seems like they've kind of taken that, reeled that back in a little bit, so it's still Rogue One and Solo both fit into the sort of Star Wars style a little bit more. But overall, I would say I was against this movie existing, kind of, a little bit at first. Then I was very skeptical, and the first trailer didn't really turn me around. This one did a little bit, so I will say that I am a little bit excited for this. Like I said all along, I'm going to give it a fair shot. I want it to be good, so... the poster they just released at the exact same time is actually really cool. I do like this sort of looser, fun sort of style that they're going for on this. I'm still not quite sold on this movie. I still don't really understand what the thrust of the plot is. Is it sort of a character study on the young days of Han Solo? Because the previous one, you hear about how he's applying to the Imperial Academy. Are we going to get all that? And then him rescuing Chewbacca, and I know that it's going to be ticking the boxes of his biography. So he rescues Chewbacca and meets Chewbacca. He wins the Falcon in a game of Sabacc and meets Lando for the first time. He does the Kessel Run. I don't know, or is it going to be just sort of, this is Han Solo's first adventure with his crew of Chewie and the Falcon, and the job is that they're doing this train robbery. And it's actually kind of, you know, kind of the way Ant-Man was like a Marvel movie, but around a kind of small-scale subject matter. Is that what they're going for? I can't really tell yet. But anyway, it does look intriguing. I can't really say I'm super excited, but I will say this, and, you know, the new poster, it does look like the marketing is a little bit on the right track now, and building some awareness of this movie. So I really don't have a whole lot further to say about this right now. I think me and Patrick are going to sort of take a look at this maybe in a week or two when we're closer to release date, and the marketing machine is in full swing. We'll, give our thoughts on how we feel. So leave your thoughts on what you guys thought of it, if you're excited, if it did nothing. Right now, I have to say, after a while, I've seen it about 3 or 4 times now. Just came out, literally, it came out half an hour ago. I'd say it's Anyway, I'm gonna go back to WrestleMania.